Governor Josh Green today notified lawmakers he intends to use his veto power to slash hundreds of millions of dollars from the state budget. KITV4's Paul Drews explains where some of those cuts will occur.
Governor Josh Green won't cut funding for health care, affordable housing, and homeless services, but wants to reduce or eliminate money for 22 different projects in order to save the state more than $1 billion.
We are going to pull back on some of the larger appropriations and planning that we didn't feel we were ready for on big projects because we're doing other big projects.
One of the items that could be cut, $50 million for the proposed first responder park in Mililani.
We haven't seen what the long-term full costs are going to be. They could be $300, $400, $500 million over time. We don't know. And so I'm reluctant to commit us to a very expensive project long-term until some of those questions are answered.
After the governor announced his proposed vetoes, the Senate Ways and Means Chair, Donovan Dela Cruz, issued this statement. I look forward to developing a path forward with the administration on determining if the land in the Mililani Technological Park should pivot and be used for indoor farming, ag tech, and value-added food production. The governor would also like to cancel $18 million earmarked for Kaka'ako street improvements.
The Kaka'ako street upgrades were intended to do some major upgrades and improvements to Ilani Y Street and Kaka'ako. Drainage, electrical probably needs to be undergrounded. There's sidewalks and sidewalks that need to be put in place.
Part of the reason for the vetoes is the governor's need to balance the budget.
We are constitutionally bound to actually pass a balanced budget, and therefore, in terms of doing that, we did need to make reductions, approximately $500 million in each year of the fiscal year.
With the cuts, the state would end up with $500 million in surplus in 2024 and even more in 2025. Money that would help the state get better bond ratings.
This is very important. The state, we are a borrowing entity, and that we need to maintain these positive ending balances in order to maintain our excellent bond rating, and so that we are not hit with higher interest rates going forward.
After the veto list was released, the chair of the House Finance Committee said he wasn't surprised by the governor's actions.
We did foresee maybe something happening like this. Because as you saw, right, the revenues were dropping throughout sessions.
Lawmakers have until July 11th to decide if they'll hold a special session to override the governor's budget item vetoes or any measures Green vetoes in the next month. Right now, the governor would like to cut more than $1 billion, but he says he hopes to add more money to projects in the future.
It may very well be that some of these appropriations come back in the supplemental budget, but first we had to balance the budget.
Paul Drews, KITV4 Island News.